a true story, by the way. Everything you hear happened to a boy, a corrupted young man named Robert Palmer. You gotta be careful. Make sure that you check on your friends. Make sure they talk to the right people. Alright, here we go. I once knew a pilgrim whose real name was Robert. His primary concern was making $1 million, being the illest hustler that the world had ever seen. He used to fuck movie stars and sniff coke in his dreams. A corrupted young man at the age of 13. Ninja never had a father and his mum was a fiend. She put the pipe down, but for every year she was sober, her son's heart simultaneously grew colder. He started hanging out, selling bags in the projects, checking the young chicks, looking for hit and run prospects. He was fascinated by material objects, but he understood money never bought respect. He built a reputation cause he could hustle and steal, but he got locked once and didn't hesitate to squeal. So criminals he chilled with didn't think he was real. You see, me and pilgrims like this have never been equal. I don't project my insecurities onto other people. He fiended for props like addicts with pipes and needles, so he felt he had to prove to everyone that he was evil. A feeble-minded young man with infinite potential, the product of a ghetto-bred capitalistic mental. Coincidentally dropped out of school to sell weed, dancing with the devil, smoking till his eyes would bleed. But he was sick of selling trees and gave into his breed. Everyone trying to be trife never faced the consequences. You probably only did a month for minor offences. Ask a pilgrim doing life if he had another chance. But yet again, there's always the wicked, the new one forgets. Dance forever with the Palmer on a cold cell block. But that's what happens when you murder, rape and sell rock. Those used to be God, angels that fell from the top. There's no diversity, cause we're burning in the melting pot. I love you, Bertie. I miss you. So Bertie started robbing pilgrims, anything that he could do to get his bet back in the eyes of the crew. Started fights over little shit up on the block, stepping up to selling mothers and brothers to crack rock, working overtime for money for the crack spot. Jackpot and wanted to move up to cocaine, fulfilling the Scarface fantasy stuck in his brain. Tired of the block pilgrims cheating him the same. He wanted to be major like the cutthroats and the thugs, but when he tried to step to him, pilgrims showed him no love. They told him any motherfucking coward can sell drugs. Any bitch pilgrim with a gun can bust slugs. Any pilgrim with a red shirt can front like a blood. Even Puffy smoked a motherfucker up in the club. But only a real fuck can stab someone till they die, standing in front of them, staring straight into their eyes. Bertie realised that these men were well guarded, and they wanted to test him before business started. Suggested raping a bitch to prove he was cold-hearted. So now he had a choice between going back to his life or making money with made men up in the sun. His dreams about cars and ice made him agree. A hardcore pilgrim is all he ever wanted to be. So Palmer bet hard night out of one of the three. Don't let this happen to Bertie, fam. I miss you. Probably only did a month for minor offences. Ask a pilgrim doing life if he had another chance. But then again, there's always the wicked, the new and advanced. Dance forever with the Palmer on a cold cell block. That's what happens, you rape, murder and sell rock. Devils used to be gods, angels that fell from the top. There's no diversity because we're burning in the melting pot. True story. They drove around the project slow while it was raining, smoking blunts, drinking and joking for entertainment, till they saw a woman on the street walking alone, 3 in the morning, coming back from work on her way home. So they quietly got out the car and followed her. Walking through the projects, the darkness swallowed her. They wrapped her shirt around her head and knocked her. This is it, kid, now you got your chance to be your. So Bertie, you her up and grabbed the chick by the hair and dragged her into a lobby that had nobody there. They pulled hard. Also to go up the stairs, they go to the roof and they held down on the ground, screaming, shut the fuck up and stop moving around. The shirt covered her face, but she's screaming clawed. So Bertie stomped on the bitch till he broke her jaw. The dirty bastards, exactly what they were doing. They kicked her until her ribs and she stopped moving, blood leaking from her crotch, died silently, but then they proceeded to rape her violently. Each of them took a turn, ripping her up and choking her until her throat burned. Her broken jaw mumbled for God, but they weren't concerned. When they were done and she was lying bloody, broken and bruised, Bertie Palmer pulled out a brand new 22. They told him that she was a witness of what she'd gone through. He needed to kill her for a spot in the crew. He thought about it for a minute, he was practically dead, and so Bertie leaned over and put the gun right to her head. I'm falling and I can't turn back. Falling and I can't turn back. I before he pulled the trigger and ended her life. He thought about the cocaine with the platinum and ice, and he felt strong standing along with his new brothers. Cut the get to her head and pulled back the shirt cover, but what he saw made him start to cringe and stutter, cause he was staring into the eyes of his own mother. She looked back at him and cried cause he had forsaken her. She cried more painfully than when they were raping her. His whole world stopped, he couldn't even contemplate. His corruption had sexually changed his fate. Remembered how his mom used to come home late, working hard for nothing, because now what was he worth? He turned away from the woman that had given him birth, and crying out to the sky cause he was lonely and scared. But the devil responded cause God wasn't there, and right then he knew what it was to be empty and cold. And so he jumped off the roof and he died with no soul. They say death takes you to a better place, but I doubt it. After that they killed his mother and never spoke about it. And listen, cause the story that I'm telling is true, cause I was there with Bertie Palmer and I raped his mother too. And now the devil follow me everywhere that I go, and in fact I'm sure he's standing among when you chose, and every street cipher listening to little Fog's flows. He could be standing right next to you and you wouldn't know. Devil crows inside the hearts of the selfish and wicked. White, brown, yellow and black, colour is not restricted. You have a self-destructive destiny when you're inflicted, and you'll be one of God's children that fell from the top. There's no diversity because we're burning in the melting pot. So when the devil wants to dance with you, you better say never, cause a dance with the Palmer like lasts you forever.